Excellent. Good morning. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters out there in social media land. This is indeed a great day to be alive. We're up again in the morning, and we're grateful, glad to see it. And we're going to continue on with our dispersal of wisdom, the ABC principles and the nuggets for living life in this world that is able to have an impact on the people that we are living with. So, shouts out to all the brothers and sisters in social media land. Going to undergo some changes. If any brothers and sisters are up this morning, maybe somebody can chime in. I want to see if I'm undergoing some changes. Okay, let's see. Okay, there's one brother or sister that have chimed in to the video. If this video is going, if it's stopping, if it's skipping, if it's buffering, put a 7 up in there so I know. If it's going as it's supposed to, then we'll carry on. Those brothers and sisters that are chiming in this morning, I'm operating. Shouts out to the brothers and sisters on this morning. I'm undergoing some changes. I'm operating off this phone strictly on Wi-Fi this morning. Well, I guess there's one good thing about it. There won't be no interruptions from a ringing phone. So if the video is going smooth and I can be heard clearly, somebody put a 7 up in there. If y'all can hear me clearly, put a 7 up in there. If the videos are stopping and skipping, put a 7 up in there so that way I know if I need to move back across the street. And I'm waiting to see those 7s. If I'm skipping or if I'm buffering, let me know. As I said, I'm operating purely on Wi-Fi this morning. And I don't want to waste the time if the video is not operating right. So somebody be so kind as to let me know whether the video is operating. You can do so. I'll wait to hear from somebody before we start up on where we're going to go. Okay. So all praises, honor, and glory most high to the Heavenly Father. I can be heard. Okay, the first thing we want to do is we want to start off by addressing a question from one of our brothers on YouTube. I woke up to an email this morning, and the question was concerning schooling and education, and the brother was making it clear that because of he'd been in college, and now since he's coming into the truth of who he is. Shouts out to you this morning, Lynn. Yeah, the brother's making it clear that since he's been in school, he's been coming in contact with the knowledge of truth, understanding who he is from the standpoint of Israelite heritage. And for any brothers and sisters that may not know these particular things dealing with Israelite heritage, see, what we deal with real life here. It's a wonderful thing to know your history, but history is not the grand sum total, because history is dealing with people that were once living that are now dead. So it's a good thing to know your history, to know that the descendants of the slaves are indeed the children of Israel according to Luke 21st chapter verses 20 through 24. They should fall by the edge of the sword. Then they will be led as slaves into all nations, and that we would be scattered from one end of the earth throughout the other. Deuteronomy 28:64. Amongst all the people of the world, there we shall serve false gods, which would be represented by wood and stone. We know that the wood and the stone is the cross of Roman Catholicism, where we get Christianity from, and we know that the stone represents the cobblestone of Islam, the rock that fell from heaven. And as I said before, now our brother was asking the question. He said he's starting to become more and more turned off by school because he can see the level of indoctrination now that he knows who he is. And so his question was, he was really feeling strong about releasing himself from school. Well, many times our brothers and sisters ask questions that many other people feel the same way about. So in response to that question to our brother, we want to tell you this. Now, in the Bible, it tells you to obey them that have rule over you. And we're not talking about no people in the way that the church have used that. Obey them that have rule over you. They bring people up under obedience to whatever the pastor say. That's not what the scripture means. That's not what the scripture means. You see, the Most High told the children of Israel when they went into Babylonian captivity, say, go over in there and build houses and plant vineyards and continue to conduct yourself in this captivity that you're in, so that you can be able to preserve your generations as they come up. And we start talking about obeying them that have rule over you, you're talking about obeying the systematic powers of this world. Everybody that's driving a car got to have a driver's license. Everybody that's driving the car got to have their car registered. It got to be tagged up. You see what I'm saying? So if it's a red light there, you got to stop at it. These are rules and laws that have been put in place that are according to the world system that we are living in. And we are to bring ourselves up under the obedience of whatever that world system is. Never mind the fact you know who you are. What people have to understand is that you didn't just land here. God put you here. God is the reason for slavery. The Most High is the reason for these things that happen to a people. So I'm going to tell that brother, man, listen, if you drop out of college, you will make one of the biggest mistakes that you can make in your life. Here's the reason why. Getting a college education in this world system that you live in will give you benefits in this world system that you live in. That will bring you into places to where you can get better employment, and bring you into places to where you can have know-how, where people will have to pay you according to your education. This in exchange will give you the ability to provide a decent living for your family, and also give you extras to be able to raise your brothers and sisters up by the things that you have learned. The only thing you have to be on your guard on is to understand that the educational departments of this world are about indoctrination. They're about indoctrination. And many people get indoctrinated from chasing after money. But when you start chasing after wisdom, then you understand that you can get, if you acquire the education according to the system of this world, not only will the systems of this world give you benefits that will benefit you in your life, but because of what you know, and because of the money or the financial bracket that you'll fit into, you'll be more able to be of assistance to your brothers and your sisters. So by no means are you to quit school. You get in there and you learn what you went to learn, and then when you get through learning that and you come out and you start using what you have learned to make money in this world, then you use those things that you are gaining in this world same way the unjust steward did. There's a story in the Bible that's called the unjust steward. He said, I just got word that my boss, when he comes back, he's going to fire me. I've been a steward over his possessions for a lot of years. And if he fires me, I won't know what I'm going to do. He said, I don't have no other skills. I don't know how to do anything else. And I'm too proud to beg. He said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the things that I'm acquiring while I'm up under this system right here, and I'm going to call all of the people that are up under this system. And the one I'm going to say, how much do you owe? He said, I owe 100. Cut your bill in half. Now you owe 50. He said, I'll call another one. How much do you owe? I owe 50. Cut your bill in half. Now you're going to owe 25. And this is what the man did to all of those that have frequented his boss's business, whose property and whose stuff he was over. And when the property owner came and found out, he declared that that one that had done that, who the Bible calls an unjust steward, he counted him wise. He said, for the children of darkness are wiser in their way than the children of light. Why? Because the children of light have never understood how to use the mammon in this world as a means to raise up their brothers and their sisters. So at the end of the day, this unjust steward was classified as a wise person in the eyes of the Most High. Now, when you start talking about going to college and getting an education, you're talking about moving into areas of understanding that you will now become a steward in this world system and place over things in this world system. Then you are in a position to where you can take the unrighteous mammon and start being a benefit. You can start being, I don't want to say a blessing, but that's exactly what it is. Sometimes the word blessing is used so much, you know what I mean, that it's just unreal. But you will be in a better place of influence to be able to help people. I'll give you an example. So anybody that's out there going to college, just because you learn the Bible, just because you learn the history, you turned off by the Bible because you understand that frat and fraternal organizations are wicked. They are there for a reason. They want to indoctrinate you before the world releases its stuff to you. So you don't allow yourself to be indoctrinated to anything, but you maintain your position and get your education so that you'll be better equipped to be a benefit to your brothers and sisters. Now, let me give you an example. Everybody knows about Colin Kaepernick, the quarterback that was promising, that had a promising future in the system that we are living in. But he had a desire in his heart to help people. So we think, or so we say. He had a desire in his heart to help people. Now let me show you the difference between a wise man and a fool, a good choice and a bad choice. Being a quarterback, even though he was a second string, he had a high probability that he will go from the background to the forefront and end up as a starting quarterback. And you know what? He said he wanted to help his people. So in the face of trying to be somebody that could kind of come against social injustice, Colin Kaepernick took it upon himself to say, well, you know what? I'm a protest. Instead of that, I'm a protest and I'm going to take one knee. Him take one knee caused his whole career to be destroyed. It caused the football league to cast him down, and it caused all of this havoc in this country amongst many other brothers and sisters, and many other brothers and sisters follow him and doing that same thing. But let me ask you a question. How did him taking a knee and holding up a fist help the brother in the community? How did that help the brother at the local gas station? How did it help some of the people that's on disability who, when their money come in, is spent up by the people or the so-called caregivers that leave them out there on the corner begging even though they got a paycheck? How did him taking one knee, holding up a fist, help our families, a husband and a wife and the children stay connected? You see, it didn't. And that was a foolish decision, because had he just relied on his gift would have made room for him, like the Most High said. That gift would have brought great wealth, and instead of him making a public spectacle of himself, he could have just took the finances and all the riches that he was reaping from this world, went into the community and popped up franchise churches, chickens, and McDonald's. He could have went into the community and popped up YMCAs and community centers. He could have went to the community and popped up things for the children, even put together schools for the children. But taking a knee and putting a fist in the air was an unwise decision, because it caused him to lose the things that he had the opportunity to receive. And that is foolish. And I'm telling brothers all the time, this ain't about no religion. This ain't about no outward expression. If you want to help somebody, it got to be personal. It got to be personal. So if you're thinking about dropping out of school because you done learned that you are the descendant of the Israelites that migrated into Africa and then sold from the banks of West Africa, came into the Americas in cotton fields. If you think that that's a good enough reason for you to throw everything away and that you don't have to govern yourself according to the systems of this world, it is better. It is better for you to have your wisdom intact and understand how to be strategic in this world where you can be a better influence on your brothers and sisters rather than end up back in the same melting pot of brokenness and poverty and all of those things. So that was the example. And to my brother or anybody else, if you in school and you striving for something good, and because you coming into a certain kind of knowledge, it done made you want to throw everything away, you'll be a fool if you do. Because you won't be like the unjust servant who was eventually classified as a wise man. You say you don't want to be indoctrinated into this world system, so that means that you'll be in a position to take everything that you heap up from this world system and then use it in a strategic manner to raise up the brothers and sisters that are in your community. I wanted to get that out the way, right out the gate. And now we want to deal with something that's going to send you out here and give you something to practice on today. Something to practice on today, something to practice. If you can start practicing these things on a daily basis, you'll see some changes in your life that are great. And not only will they be having a great impact on you, you'll see them affecting the people that you come in contact with on a daily basis. So these are going to be some nuggets that teach us how to deal with each other. Because when we learn how to deal with each other, and when we learn how to stop friction and stop enmity and stop adversity with each other before it comes, it makes the life of your life better, and it makes the life of your brother and sister better, because you don't allow them to put you in a position to where you now can fall out. So these are going to be some principles, and they have to be practiced. They have to be practiced. And one of the things that we should be practicing every day is how we're going to use our conversation with our brothers and sisters without becoming religious minded, where we quote the scriptures, where you can't have a conversation for 10 minutes without bringing God into the picture. See, you ain't got to bring God in the picture. God only requires you to live by this instruction. And if you do that, God going to manifest itself in you, in the life that you live in, not in the words that you are saying. So that is one that needs to be practiced on a daily basis when you are having conversations with people. Let's see how far you can go in your conversation without using anything in the Bible. But living what you find in the Bible, not speaking it. The Messiah said love in deed, not with words. So that's a hurdle that many of us got to overcome. You got to overcome the hurdle of always wanting to speak the words that's contained in the Bible and learn how to love people according to the words that you've ingested that come from the Bible. So now, here's the first thing that we're going to look at. We're still dealing with wisdom and practicality. Because if you ain't going to practice, old folks, you say practice what you preach. If you ain't going to practice it, if we're not going to practice it, then bam. It ain't even know, you might as well close the book, because those things going to come as an indictment against you. To whom much has been given, much shall be required. So, we're going to be in Proverbs 6 chapter. First, I want to say, my son, if thou be surety for thy friend, if thou hast stricken thy hands with a stranger, thou art snared with the words of thy mouth, and thou art taken with the words of my mouth, with the words of your mouth. Now, what does it mean? If thou be surety for a friend, and if thou hast stricken thy hand with a stranger. It means that when you have a friend, you call that friend to responsibility and accountability. You don't find that friend in a bad place and then you go stand between that friend and somebody else, and you declare to be surety for somebody is to become a co-signer. Oh, well, I'll take care of it. If he don't take care of it, I got his back. You know what I mean? Go on and let him have the car. I got his back. I'll ride on his back. I'll be the co-signer for him, even in the street. Oh, he good for it. He good for it. Yeah, I've been knowing him for a long time. He good for it. But guess what? If he ain't good for it, and he proves that he's not good for it, then you have gotten yourself a snare. You snared by the words of your own mouth. When you stand in the middle of people and you become their crutch to lean on, you in trouble. And I was just on the phone with one of my young kings the other day that was telling me something of a similar situation. I said, well, why did you get rid of this piece of merchandise? He said, well, man, I had a friend that was on hard times, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I helped him out, you know what I mean? And turned around, the brother didn't make one payment, and it left me in a bad place. So I had to take this treasure that I've been having all these years, and I had to sell it so I can pay the bank their money. You see, that's what suretyship is. Suretyship. You say, don't be no co-signer for nobody. He that will be wise must be wise for himself, because God hath made the same things available to all men. He that will be wise shall be wise for himself. He says, so if you're, my son, if thou be surety for thy friend, if thou hast stricken thy hand with the stranger, thou art snared with the words of thy mouth, and thou art taken with the words of thy mouth. See, it's a snare to you, because now you got to stand on what you wouldn't allow your friend to stand on. Now you got to pay for it. You might not even see him no more. By the time you get the car back, the car is probably totaled out. The car ain't got no insurance on it. The car ain't got no proper tags on it. And it ain't been but one car payment made. And everything else you got to pay for. It's in the book. So, these are principles that the Most High give us so that we can have peace in this life that we are living. And we call our brothers and sisters to accountability. And if by chance you have been one that have done this, or you have taken a pledge to your brother, or man, I make sure you do this. And that's one of the things that we have a habit of doing. Don't tell nobody that you can do something if you're not sure you're going to be able to do it. Don't tell them, because that puts you in a bad place. You snared by the words of your mouth. Something really important can come up, but because you done told somebody, hey man, I'll do it, I'll make sure I do it, don't worry about it, I'll get you where you got to go. And then something important come up. You snared by the words of your own mouth. He says, if you found yourself doing this to somebody, here's what you need to do. Do this now, my son, and deliver thyself when thou art come into the hand of thy friend. Go and humble thyself, and make sure thy friend. Give not sleep to thy eyes, nor slumber to thy eyelids. Deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of the fowler. That's what he's telling you. If you done put your word out there on somebody, you need to go back to that friend. And you need to make that friend understand, hey man, you know what? I really meant well when I was telling you that I would do this. You understand what I'm saying? But the reality is that I can't do it, man. I can't do it, and it grieves my heart that I can't do it. Now, I need you to forgive me for letting you down if you feel like I'm letting you down. But she said you need to deliver yourself from that. If you told somebody that you'll co-sign, I'll put my signature down so you can get the apartment, you need to go back and you need to tell them, hey, I understand. I know you need this place. I know this, you know. Because if they need your signature or if they need your help, that shows the level of their irresponsibility. And what you mean to do is cause your brothers and sisters to raise up. You don't need me to co-sign for you. A good name is better than great riches. You see, you got to keep your name good. And your name is attached to this system, not just in the streets, but it's attached to this system in the digital world. I know brothers all over town, sisters all over town, they speak good of you. They speak highly of you. But when they put your name in that computer and run your credit, what does it come back saying? A good name is better than riches. Because if you got a good name in the digital world, when they see your name pop up, they'll be like, give him what he want. He got a history. He pays his bills on time. He take care of his business. That's levels of responsibility. He has a good name. And that's what you want your brothers and sisters to understand. So you don't be no security for them. You deliver yourself from that. And then you come into a conscious place of why they are in the condition that they are in, and you can help them. Instead of putting your signature down there, you can help them when they say, hey man, now I got opportunity to do this. Girl, you know, I got to get some place. I got to get this place. You know, I got these kids, and you really want to help them. But why do they need you? They need you because they ain't being responsible. And instead of you being security for them, what you need to do is you need to find a way to make them understand this next passage of scripture that says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, and consider her ways and be wise. Now, the Bible is telling these particular individuals that need the security of other people, need somebody else's word. They need to ride on somebody else's credibility or somebody else's credential. You need, as a brother and sister, be able to look them in the face and say, go to the ant, thou sluggard. To be sluggard is to be lazy. It said, go to the ant, thou sluggard, and consider her ways. She don't have no guide nor no overseer, but she provide her meat in the summer, and she gathers her food in the harvest. She said, the lazy man, you need to stop being so lazy, brother. You don't need me to help you. All you need to do is quit being lazy, quit procrastinating. You need to look at how this ant is operating. Ain't nobody got to tell this ant that it needs to wake up. Ain't nobody got to be this ant's alarm clock. Man, can you call me in the morning, man? Make sure ain't nobody got to do that to the ant. Ain't nobody got to tell the ant the things that it needs for its life. You see, but many of our brothers and sisters have fallen into this place because they are sluggard. That means that they are lazy. Go to the ant, thou sluggard, and consider her ways. Look at how this ant is moving and be wise, because that's what it's about. And when we find ourselves in certain places, we are foolish. And somebody got to show us what it means to be wise, how we're going to operate. So there don't be no security to nobody. You'll come across many people, family members, children. I'm telling you, your children will tear your stuff up. They will. If they ain't worked for it and you trying to be security for them, I'm just speaking in general, just period, because in the book, you don't be security for nobody. You tell your children, you tell your sons, you tell your daughter, you better get your lazy butt up. You're not going to be living off my stuff. If I can get out here and get up every day and go to work if I can keep a job and be on a job for 25 years, you ain't going to come in here telling me that you can keep no job past 2 months. You ain't going to tell me that you ran through 10, 15 jobs in a year's time and it's everybody else's fault. No, you sluggard in some kind of area. That's what it is. It says, how long will you sleep, thou sluggard? And when will you arise out of your sleep? We're talking about the lazy man. How long are you going to sleep? How long are you going to be in this condition? How many times you going to get eviction notices? This is your third eviction notice. How many times you going to lose the job? This is your fourth job. How many times you going to go through this stuff? How long you going to sleep? Oh, sluggard, how long are you going to keep making these same excuses? Come on, brothers. I know the condition of our brothers out here don't want to work, but they'll go to prison and work for $3 a month and then be glad at it, come out of jail talking like prison was something good. But when they was out here, they wouldn't, oh man, I ain't working for no $8 an hour. I ain't working. Well, if you wasn't going to work for $8 an hour, you should have kept your butt in school and got the education that you needed to be able to come out here and get you a productive job. So because you lazy and because you don't want to work, you out here robbing people and shooting your brothers. And your brothers that's working and doing the right thing, because you lazy and you a sluggard, you trying to find a way how you can take what they got, climb through their window, run up in there and rob their business, because you're lazy and you're a sluggard. And some of you need to tell your sons and your daughters these things. Some of you need to tell your nephews these things before you have to pull the black suit out. So don't pull no black suit out and then go in there crying and weeping, looking for the preacher to preach some fake sermon about what a good guy he was, when you need to be telling him right then and there, you're a lazy, no good for nothing joker. And if you don't change your ways, you're going to end up in a bad situation. Now I ain't helping you. Now I ain't giving you a ride because you're supposed to have your own car. You done had 3 cars now. You can't keep none of them. Every time you get something, it's repo because you won't pay your bills and you're blaming everybody else for it. When were you going to rise out of your sleep? Yet a little sleep and a little slumber and a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that traveleth, and thy want as an armed man. This is the portion of reward to the lazy man. It says a little sleep and a little slumber, and so shall thy poverty come as a man that travels. You see, when a man is lazy, he make every excuse in the world not to do what he's supposed to do. And he spend most of his time in a stupor or in a slumber or sleeping. Man, it don't take all that. It's 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock. What the heck you still doing in the bed sleep this time of day? What the heck are you doing up till 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning? What are you doing? He said a little sleep and a little slumber. You miss half of the day. Then the old folks said that the early bird get the worm. You done missed half of the day already. You ain't getting none. Everything that you was going to get, they already been gobbled up by somebody else. And now you're crying about what you ain't got. A little sleep and a little slumber and a folding of the hands to sleep. So shall your poverty come like one that travel. You're going to be poor and you're not going to have anything because you won't get your butt up out that bed and take care of the business that you're supposed to do. You keep procrastinating and going into this slumber. Oh, I'll do it a little bit later. I'll do it tomorrow. I know I said a whole 2 weeks done passed and you still ain't got it done, but you're still talking about what you're going to do. Do y'all know anybody like this in your life? Or were you like this in your life in time past? Or are you like this right now? Better get up out that bed. Because your poverty going to come like a man that travels. That means that poverty is traveling. Because you sleeping. You won't get out the bed. You're lazy. And then you go and portray yourself like everything is so hard to other brothers and sisters. Ain't nothing hard for you. Ain't no hard for you. You're just a lazy joker and you're procrastinating and you won't get up out the bed to go to work. You can't go to no job interview at 3:30 in the afternoon. Well, you got a job interview. It's at 9 o'clock. It's at 10 o'clock. You can't do nothing like that. You have slept the day away. He said, and poverty's coming because you lazy. And I tell my nieces and nephews all the time, a broke man ain't got no options. I don't care how you get the money in your pocket as long as you do it righteously. But a broke man ain't got no options. If you broke, you can't buy yourself a sandwich. If you broke, you can't get on the bus. If you broke, you can't help nobody. I said, but when you got money, you got options. If I got some money, I ain't got to have a car. If I got some money, somebody need gas money. Some sluggard, lazy joker that won't get up and do what he's supposed to do got a car, but he ain't got no gas in it. So every time it come down to giving somebody a ride, man, you got some gas money? You got some gas money? Well, you know what? If you got money, then you got options because you can use that one, that sluggard that got a car. Got money, you got options. You why I tell my nephews and my younger ones. So don't come around me talking about you broke. Why are you broke? You think I'm going to keep giving you money? And when I give you money, I'll give you a lesson too. How much money you got in your pocket, boy? How much money you got? Oh, Uncle, I ain't got no. Well, what happened to you? Well, I had $20. What I had to do. I said, well, you know what? I don't care what you had to do. Next time you give up 15 and you keep 5 in your pocket for self-preservation, but you don't never give up all of your money. Because if you give up all your money, you ain't got no options and you don't know when you're going to find yourself in trouble. So a little sleep, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. That's dealing with laziness. So shall your poverty come as a man that travel, and you shall want as an armed bandit. You know how an armed bandit can get so broke that he willing to take a gun and run up into a bank? That's how bad he wants some money. That's how bad he wants some stuff. Well, the man that's sleeping all day, this is how bad he gonna want some things when he wake up. Man, I'm hungry in a mug, but I ain't got no money. You gonna want like an armed bandit. So here's what I really wanted to go to. We can practice these. Shouts out to you this morning, TT. It says, these 6 things God hates, but 7 are an abomination to him. Now, if God hates something, don't you think you ought to know what it is? If you're doing something in this life that you live in that God hates, you are on your way to destruction. And many people have been destroyed simply because they never knew that the thing that they was doing, God hated it. So let's point out 6 things that God hates. And he adds one more, 7, which is an abomination. That means that he hates it double time. The first thing he hates is a proud look. Boy, I know some proud people, boy. They got their noses turned up, boy. They jumps out their car, boy. You know what? And I used to be like that too. I jump out my car, boy, and I have my snake skin and my lizard boots on, and I be clean, car be clean. And I remember pulling up sometime, throwing the car in park, open up the door, and just slide around to the side and drop both boots down at the same time. Only thing people can see is these boots come down. Oh, these boots is cold. Then I raise up out of there, and start strutting like I was God's gift to the world. A proud look. Look so proud to where, you know, you don't even want to approach a person. You make everybody feel bad the minute you come strutting in there. He said God hates a proud look. So if you run around here with this proud look, God loves shamefacedness. Shamefacedness, you know how to maintain shamefacedness? You maintain shamefacedness when you are ever conscious of the fact that you're a sinner, that you have things down on the inside of you that are no good. You got problems that you ain't overcame. That'll keep your face shameful and keep you in a place of humility. You walking around like you something great. God can snatch your breath away from you at any minute. You see, the proud man don't even look at God. He looked to all the things that he got. That's what was another scripture that we wanted to pull out yesterday in the book of Sirach, but I had written it down wrong. And it said that we shouldn't be making no talk about boasting about our garments or how fine a man is dressed. What is that? You can dress over top of rottenness. You can be just as rotten as an old dead roadkill out there, and you can put a nice outfit on him. That don't make him righteous. But that's what we do. And we don't catch ourselves because we come from a background where we used to be clean, and we prided ourselves on being clean, prided ourselves on being name brand, Stetson hats, and you know what I'm saying, and all of this stuff. Florsham shoes and, you know, Bally suede and Versace gear. We prided ourselves on our garments and became fools in the presence of the Most High because we was more concerned about what we look like on the outside than what we look like on the inside. So he says 6 things that the Most High hates. That's a proud look. So when you put a man in work clothes and put a man in rags, his whole demeanor changes because he ain't got nothing to gloat about. But that's the look that pleases the Father, because that's the look that the vast majority of people on the earth, his people anyway, can identify with. Look at the Europeans, how proud they are. Oh, we're Americans. We're Americans. We're the greatest. You look at Donald Trump, how proud he was when he hit the podium. A proud look. God said, I hate that. Because if I didn't give you breath this morning, you'll be in a box somewhere. So as we practice living our life today, let's be conscious of what other people see us like when it comes to being proud. We should have a spirit of humility. The Bible says that the more greater thou art, the more humble thou should be. So God hates a proud look. The second thing that he hates is a lying tongue. And all of us done been here too, because I done told some of the smoothest lies that you can ever think about. But I know I ain't by myself. It's somebody that wake up every morning and all they gonna tell is lies all day. God said he hates a liar, because he wants his people to understand you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. I don't have to lie to you. Why would I lie to you? I need to tell you the truth about whatever the situation is. He hates lying lips. He also hates hands that shed innocent blood. And we know that people can boil this down to murder of one another, to murdering each other. But you got to understand that the animals in creation are of the household of God. We are all created out of flesh and blood, and we are all given one breath and the same diet and the same appetite. He says, so thou shalt not kill man nor beast. Because sometimes men get murdered and they're not innocent. They're guilty of committing a crime against somebody else. But when it comes to the animals, they are not guilty of committing a crime toward anybody. And God hates hands that shed innocent blood. Talking about when you hurt people that ain't done nothing. When you hurt and destroy the creation that have never done nothing to you. God hates that. We know that we ain't gonna harp on the flesh eating. You see, but God didn't create the animals as a food source. The animals their innocent blood has to be shed in order for a man to eat a steak, in order for a man to eat chicken wings, in order for a man to eat fish. He had to be snatched out of his habitat and put in a frying pan in order for him to do that. And the creatures are innocent, and their blood is being shed. So y'all can do with that whatever your heart desires with. I'm not going to harp on it, because after all of these years of conditioning, we don't expect people to just get it in one swipe. But when we're talking about God hate hands that shed innocent blood, he's not just talking about and limiting that to human beings or men and women. He's talking about the animals and the creation as well, because they are innocent, that have never done anything to harm mankind. So their blood is innocent blood that is being shed. And the Most High hates it. So that's three things. He hates a heart that devises wicked imaginations. And if you're sitting around thinking, using your energy and using your time to figure out what crooked can you do, this is really the slothful or the lazy man. The lazy joker that don't want to do nothing, that don't want to work. He's sitting around devising wicked schemes on how he can feel his appetite, because he wants like an armed bandit. And you got to devise wicked schemes in your imagination. There's another man that would desire to have a particular woman, but he know he's not the man of character to be dealing with a woman like that. So he's sitting around devising wicked schemes on how he can trip this woman up through impression or something like that. He devising wicked schemes. There is another man that feel like that somebody didn't respond to him in the right way, and he done moved into a place of hatred toward his brother. And he's sitting back up in the morning thinking about his brother who's gone on about his business, how he can devise a wicked scheme to cause his brother to fall. God hates that. You sitting around and you thinking about wicked things that you can find to do with the breath that God has given you. You better find a way to change that. So that's 4. The 5th one he hates is feet that be quick, running to mischief. Mischief is trouble, or not gonna say making jokes, but troublesome pranks and things like that, to where you think you get a punchline at the expense of somebody else, and every time you come around, you making trouble in some type of way. He hates feet that are swift to jump on the bandwagon of people that are making trouble for other people. I used to teach my son when he was young. I said, when the arguments start, that's when it's time for you to leave. I said, and by the time the fight break out, you halfway home. I said, by the time you hear that somebody done died, you at home watching the news. You don't run to mischief. When you see trouble, there be many people that seen confusion take place, and they all had feet that were swift to run to the source of the trouble, only to find out that 2 or 3 people lost their life because they got hit by stray bullets. As they ran up to see the trouble, the bullets start shooting them down. The people that was getting shot, the people that was meant to be shot, never took one injury. Feet that be swift, running to mischief, God hates. Feet that be swift to run to mischief is like a gossiper. Somebody that has quick feet to take off and run it. Oh man, did you hear what happened? Oh girl, did you hear what happened? Oh, I can't believe that. Let me call such and such. And there's the such and such. Feet that be swift to run to mischief. God said, I hate that. And if you fit into this category, you better be on your guard. When you start hearing things, your feet should take off running the other direction, because you don't want nobody coming to dump no trash can into your life. He hates a false witness that speaks lies. A false witness that speaks lies. A false witness is somebody that they can heap up that will come and tell a lie on you. That's a false witness. Yeah, he did it. Yep, he did it. The false witness that came against the Messiah. Yep, he did it. Yep, he did it. And then all of them was found out to be liars. The false witnesses. The false witnesses that was coming against Michael Jackson, Bill Cosby. The false witnesses that was coming against the people. God hates false witnesses. We'll give you X amount of dollars. You go on there. False witnesses come through favor. Come through friendship. Come through kinship. Yeah, he done it. He done it. Yep, I know he done it. That's just his character. That's just his nature. But you don't know nothing about the situation. God hates a false witness that speaks lies. And if you don't know what the truth is, then you're going to be speaking a lie. So if you find yourself into this category, you need to practice on that. Practice on not saying anything like we went yesterday. Speak not, whether friend or foe, speak not of other men's lives. And if you can, do it without offense. You shouldn't be speaking about nobody's life unless you're trying to speak about how you may make it better, how you may bring a solution to the problem. Because God hates false witnesses that speak lies against one another. So if you're a person that loves to gossip, you need to think about that. And the final one that he hates is those that sow discord among the brethren. Well, you know, man, I heard Michi said this over here, man, about you. He did what? Man, that was my boy. We was cool. I can't believe he over there talking about me and this and that. It ain't even true. But the one that is told it to think it's true. And now you got 2 brothers ready to go to war because one of them is sowing discord among each other. I seen the discord sold. Discord gets sold everywhere that men are. Discord gets sold. In the church, in the Sabbath class, everywhere that men are, because men always want preeminence and position. And when they see somebody that have a little bit more gifting than them, they start sowing discord to try to make somebody else not like them. Sisters the same way. Your gossiping and all that about somebody else, it sows discord, but God hates it. So, I'm going to let that be the end of the video on this morning. These are nuggets of wisdom that we should practice in our life. Peace and blessings be upon all of you.